All right, welcome back. Now, it's time for us to get into some community stories and find out what's going on in different places around the country.
Yeah.
Remember when we visited Bimbilla sometime in March, and they were having challenges in the school there in March, and dining hall issues, all kinds of challenges, where to sit and eat, where they cook the food, and all of those things, their classrooms and so on. Well, let's take a look at what happened when we did that report. Then we'll come back and show you what's happened this week.
Bimbilla Senior High School, established in 1981, was a day secondary school until 2007 when it was converted to a boarding school. The school is faced with infrastructure challenges. There is no dining hall for the students, and students take their meal in the open. In the rainy season, students are left with no option than to take their food in floodwaters or muddy space. In the dry season like this time, the students take their lunch in the scorching sun. City News interacted with some of the students who were about taking their lunch. They are making a passionate appeal to authorities to ensure the completion of the abandoned dining hall facility.
We need a dining hall preferred, like we have dining hall, but we went there to complete it for us. Like rainy season or at this time, see we are suffering. So we want proper dining hall, proper dining hall. So anytime that we are to serve or take the dining, so we can get there, the proper place and sit and enjoy ourselves and come back and go to class.
We are eating in the sun, and in the rainy season, we'll come here and the rain is beating us here. So we need them to come and complete our dining hall for us, and we'll be eating there. The way we have been carry bowls in and out, we are tired about it. So we are begging them to come and complete the things for us. And when we send the bowls there, we must eat there and wash our hands there and come to class.
The new dining hall is still under construction, and we need help to come and complete it for us so that we will not be suffering carrying bowls along. And we have challenges around us here. As the place that is in the food we normally sometimes, I would say sometimes, because it's the pantries who always help us to chase the animals away. Sometimes the animals interrupt, have a decent, causing us some problems, and we don't like it.
As now, the sun is beating us. If there is rain, we'll be standing here and the rain is beating us. We don't have any control unless if the rain stop and we now come and take our food. Maybe it will get late before we take the food.
The dining hall has been under construction for the last 10 years, appears abandoned. The kitchen women who say they go through challenges in preparing food for the students also call for the completion of the dining hall facility.
Yeto abdiane, yeto amami ne biane pa sanzana mi yina. Nto suante. Dozo to suhur gobanti ne man suhura sanzana abuzom na on pa solo. Yina to suante. Kata dining man on dining katile tumda.
Kata dining nimbe ke sama kar male. Kata kulni mane ka yungo shango ma. Kar blam buti chengongo. Kata du ban kahatir bihma da ma de kulun dance ma zapand la kwama.
Okay, so that was the situation in Bimbilla in March when we got some footage from there. But right now, let's just segue back here to Accra and look at what the situation is in Accra with our flooding. Now, as we know and we discussed earlier in the show, several parts of Accra are notorious for flooding when we have rain. And some of our correspondents on the ground, they're going to be showing us what's happening out there. So I know you talked about your commute this morning and what it was like.
No, my commute, well, let's first of all, let's introduce Samurata Mensah, who is the host of Footprints. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Morning, Cox. Morning. How are you?
We're very well, thank you.
We're well. Glad to be here and see.
So we're describing our various commutes to work, you know. I noticed that from mine, I decided to avoid what I already knew would be trouble spots. So Circle, I completely avoided Circle. But still, on the way coming around Adabraka Junction, there are 2 spots of fully flooded road. And that's one at the Shell. As you descend from Tesano coming towards Adabraka Junction, the Shell on the right after Tesano Baptist, right there, the entire road was filled with water. And then after that...
And then before the police depot.
Yes, exactly.
That's even more dangerous.
Directly at the gate of Ghana Telecom University. And this time around, the water has actually gone all the way to the curb. It's risen to the curb at the gate. Then on the other side, it's actually washing onto the other road of the oncoming traffic. Yeah, it's just bad. Yeah.
I mean, you are in luck because you know alternative routes.
Yes.
Oh no, yes.
Many are there who have no alternative.
Yes.
And that's where the big challenge is. It's just what it is. The kind of rainfall that we've witnessed in the last 48 hours.
Since Saturday.
Yeah.
For what I know, not many cities can deal with this kind of rainfall. Not many cities, trust me.
Really?
Not many cities. I mean, this proper tropical rainfall. Yeah. I mean, the kind of rain that when you see, you yourself, you wonder what's next.
Yeah.
Are the type of rains that are typical of forest areas.
Yes.
And with the kind of brick, mortar, cement
that we have in our city,
definitely there will be flooding. Definitely there will be flooding. My only challenge is that the occurrence of flooding doesn't seem to have an end anytime soon.
And it seems to be getting worse. For people who have, it seems to be getting worse. People whose homes were not flooding in the past are now flooding.
Somebody sent me a video this morning and said, I used to live in this house, and I lived in there till I was 16 years old. From the time I was born to 16 years old, and it would never flooded like this.
But the house is not on an island.
Well, yes. So
and I mean, between then and now,
a lot of
have built in the spaces around.
Exactly.
And this is the major problem. Spatial planning has been reduced to zero, complete zero.
Yeah.
I mean, the other day, some twerp tried building on the median from UTC to Kingsway. Remember?
Wow.
Building shops. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you've forgotten so soon? Some people went to build shops in the median.
Wow.
So,
but I like the use of the word twerp. It's a very nice word.
Yeah, I mean, how can you do that?
People who behave like that,
we will correct everything in this country except our mindset.
Yeah.
We will pay money to correct everything.
Yeah.
The other day, I heard the Works and Housing Minister saying that they have spent
450 million
within the region of 450 million cities in the last couple of years, specifically for flooding. And I was just asking myself, where does it end? How much more money would we have to use as a country to deal with an infrastructural problem that is major in a mighty way caused by the way we think?
Our mindset.
Very
unfortunate.
Infrastructural problems.
I mean, our colleague Nia Ikwe Okai is somewhere within the Circle Enclave. Nia Ikwe.
Hello.
Great, okay.
Nia Ikwe.
Hello, David.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning, Dave.
Yes, so where exactly are you and what's going on there? What can you show us?
I'm currently at Circle around Tiptoe Lane.
Okay.
The road that leads to Kokomlemle and its adjoining communities. And I can tell you that, in fact, shops here, mobile phone accessories and then mobile phone shops have all been inundated in water due to the rains that occurred this dawn through to this morning. And we can also tell that shop owners are making efforts to ensure that the water in their shops are scooped outside for them to be able to operate their business as usual. So when you come to Tiptoe Lane at Circle, it's all about shop owners trying to ensure that the water is out of their shops to undertake their business. Dave.
Wow. Now I can see water in someone's...
Yes. So this is one of the shops, and then people are trying to scoop the water with buckets and all that to ensure that the place is safe for business. Well, I spoke to some of them, and they indicated that with the nature of this situation, they can't even undertake any business today. They have to ensure that the place is really clean before they can undertake their business. They said this is not the first time. On Saturday, they witnessed a similar situation, and they don't know what they can be able to do about this to ensure that the situation is kept. So that has been it here at Tiptoe Lane. We are still trying to get to some of the shops and then see for ourselves what exactly is happening there. So that is it.
Okay, from where you're standing, we can see there are gutters right in front of those shops, right? What is in the gutters there? Are they full of debris? Is it, they look like there's a lot of silt in there.
So some of them said that the gutters are too narrow for the water to flow freely. They are saying that the gutters need to be widened enough to accommodate this water that flows into their shops whenever it rains.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm sure you'll bring us more information. Can you talk to a few of the people there, maybe?
Let me try and engage some of them. Ejana, you say I started time ben ama shops are flooded. Hello, Eja. No, you say I started time ben ama ahanumo. I have menya say.
But in so as I say in Drenimre in so ni sase say to ba ne ba kaka kra je na e poko fie no e poko fie na fe your friend say be tu na madam from say so ne dey era by so that time na afa level tell me chere betim be duru be me boa a yetimi me store ne kra nti so ne dia won den pa na ba nti ma ye gira nchen e ma ne ba for me 4 asa ye bi stores no ye bi anyame anim so no abo ama phone so dem won na akokom aseni na
apart from phones na dem bi na oton.
Oh, you repair so you say laptops, you say phone, camera you won your now.
Now when the first time I see and I tell you.
Okay, you did my share inside here. Wait a minute, second time me who say I'm a problem with them.
Now we so you then am na basa.
My be mu there. Any dey boy or money na there. You got us na wa no. You buy your coin Dubai we. Got us na wa no swapa. Nti so ni bag Accra pe na aboma. E bag Accra pe na aboma. Got us in there be say ebi man. Yesra ban pa nyame nim. Aha pa iso na senye ma pa wo dem wa ka ba no.
Wo ka say nyoma ben sa na say.
I say phones, laptop. Ye be code and flashing. Ni na say me santon screen. Me have manager mo a. Me ton screens. Iso na rewra me screens na mu. I say bibiara. Enti yesra ban pa, yesra ban. Yesra ban pa say. Obotu nya be hwen wa ebo ne secret ebo ne ya. No o man mo a. Yesra ban pa. But you have Philip Awajochere.
So you have a shop owner who is very much frustrated about his shop being flooded due to the rains that came down this dawn through to this morning. We are trying to get to more of these shops and see what is going on there, how people are making efforts to ensure that they have a safe environment for business today.
All right, yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
Eja, morning.
So, you can see what is happening there.
So say started to go.
Na say shops ya flood mo ben there.
Yeah, go so.
Then na moya potin, yes.
You know why bet me ayo. Yes, inside it. You know why bet me. Say inso to the nye na ton so. Nyankopon na ton so. It dey aye there. They dey hwe ye fam.
E dey na moton wa.
Yeah, to phones. Any protector. Phone covers.
Bibia say.
Me kra me pese me bakama.
Bibia say.
The niama pi say.
That's fine. So Dave, you've heard some shop owners here at Tiptoe Lane, Ebony area, at Circle, complaining about the destruction to their phone accessories and phones due to the rains that got their shops flooded. So that has been it. We'll bring you more in other jurisdictions that are also flooded.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that's our colleague Niaikwe Okain.
The very last shop there, I was just looking at how high they built that retaining wall to prevent water from coming, but still the water went in there. Yeah. One of the gentlemen was making this comment about the gutters being expanded, widened. I'm not sure that's the problem. Or that's the solution, because I'm saying this because we were speaking with Mohamed Damba, or the president of the Ghana Institute of Planners, yesterday, and he was saying that no matter how small the channel is, if it doesn't have any silt or debris in it, or where it's flowing into also doesn't have any silt or debris, the water should flow.
But that's not entirely correct. The channel should have a capacity. So the volumes of water will determine, So yes and no. And I think the gentleman, to some extent, is right. And the Ebony restaurant, or what used to be the Ebony restaurant, now called the Ebony area, is the place directly opposite the Orion Cinema. So this is not Tiptoe Lane necessarily. Now, I grew up in this area, so I am quite familiar with it. It used to be an open space, very wide open space, with the channel that takes the water right behind Orion Cinema, through New Plant Station, into the Odo. Then it was a river, now gutter.
Now drink.
Oh well, now you stylize this so
it was a river.
Okay, so with the building of the overpass, the complex nature of the overpass actually has taken away the space. And Circle was just a roundabout with greens around, although they had been bastardized from time to time. But it was open space. So if it rained, the water had places to express itself. Now, the interchange becomes a block to water. Now, the settlements along the big gutter have only gotten worse. Years ago, it was a bit organized. Now it's not organized. You have 1,001 shops in a very small area. Everybody's struggling for survival. This is the reason I don't think anything will change. Nothing will change. Now, the only solution is to relocate the people. And you know what it means to relocate people. And that's not going to happen in another generation. So, unfortunately, I don't have good news on this. It's going to remain the same. And maybe even get worse.
But
I saw something yesterday.
Look at the property that's
but
damaged, the goods.
Yesterday.
You're going to do that year after year? Year after year, Summers, your goods, your wares, you go through this.
It's because they have nowhere to go.
Charlie,
they actually have nowhere to go. And look, if you enter the Tiptoe Lane proper, this dawn, modern photos, I don't know if modern photos got flooded completely. Opposite modern photos is Tiptoe nightclub, which has been turned into something else. I think one of the betting companies is there now. The whole place got flooded. And I'm saying that buildings keep springing up. Activity keeps increasing. So where does it stop? It's not going to end. If you go there, again, beginning of the Tiptoe Lane, right through the middle, if you hear anybody speak any Ghanaian language, then you are in luck.
You're right.
I'm telling you. I mean, about 60% of the people there are foreign retail guys who keep their wares somewhere, come on daily basis to compete with the locals. Of course, they have more money from their countries. I'm not going to mention any country. Okay?
Yeah.
So the Ghanaians will complain, but the foreigners will get away with it.
Yeah.
So this is what we have. Nothing is going to change.
Yeah. No, the gutter you were talking about. There's a larger drain that drains into the Odo. I noticed yesterday that it's silted, heavily silted.
Oh yeah, it will be.
For me, that's the bigger conversation.
Even the planks.
Yeah.
The wooden planks that cover the drain have been broken
into the
and
drain.
also falling into the drain, blocked it further.
Yeah.
You see, but the thing is, if you ask these guys to move for work to be done, nobody will be prepared to move.
Well, then I guess,
as we used to say, I'll die in my socks.
Yeah,
oh gosh.
Yeah, no. So that one there.
Well, someone whose socks are probably wet right now is Fred Duho. We can see him standing at least ankle deep in water. So we'll find out where he is and what the situation is there.
And this time with his Wellington boots.
With his Wellington boots. All right.
Fred,
good morning, Fred.
Good morning, Coco and David.
Yeah.
And like Papa said, I'm in my Wellington boots.
At least you're prepared.
Is that your house?
No, this is not my house. I am actually within the Adabraka enclave, not too far from the Graphic Road.
Okay.
And as we speak, a number of homes
the woman is taking
are
it
now
easy,
counting their loss.
Normal
they
life is
are
going
actually
on.
fetching water from their rooms. They all woke up to this devastation where the flood came in, went straight into their room. This is not something new to them actually. I want us to take a look into this particular room where a gentleman has been busy since morning trying to fetch the water. I mean, the volume is quite much that he's been on this since morning. And I want to respect their view that we shouldn't show their face. So I'll be speaking to most of them without them coming directly on camera, but we will see the devastation that actually took place in their room overnight, and they are now counting their losses. I want to engage let's now take a look at this room where the gentleman is quite busy. As you can see, he is fetching out this water since morning. Welcome to City TV, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah. For how long have you been fetching this water?
For almost about 2 hours now.
So, is this the first time water has entered your room?
No, this is the second or third time.
Why didn't you think of relocation, or is this your permanent house?
No, it's not my permanent house, but talking about relocation, one, it's a different thing. Where and then there's the cost involved. Yes.
So you are raising issue with costs, but looking at the devastation cost to you right now, I think this is much more than what you would have incurred renting at a better place. Don't you think so?
Just as I said, money issues. So we are trying to manage, but we hope everything will be okay with time.
And if you say this is the second time, the previous one and this particular one, which one is more devastating to you?
This one is much horrible than previous. Yes. Yes.
And how much do you rent a place like this? Because this place looks a bit small. You just have a small hall and a bedroom. The water has entered your bedroom. Your clothing are wet. Your seats, almost everything here. I mean, you would have to dry them later in the day. That is even if the sun is up. But looking at the things destroyed in this room, how much would it cost you in terms of money to restore this?
For now, I can't tell, but it's a huge money. So for now, I'm still working on it, so I can't tell anything for now. But as and when I'm done, I can know what is sport and what's not sport. So for now, let's hold on to that.
You made mention of the fact that because of money you don't want to relocate. Are you going to endure this? We know the meteorological department has predicted heavier rains for this long.
We pray for better days. We pray for better days, and I hope by the grace of God everything is going to be okay soon. So yes.
Well, so that is a gentleman who wouldn't like us to put his face on camera, but he's agreed to speak to us, and he actually indicated that the rain came in at dawn and caused so much havoc to his room. Almost everything I saw in that room is actually submerged in water. We are advancing into the main compound now to see how the people here are counting their loss. They are literally fetching the water from their bedrooms onto the main compound. And I can tell you, even though I am in a Wellington boot, it's getting to a point where the water has started entering my boots because the depth of this water, I'm working on cement though, but the depth of it is quite deep. And for that matter, the Wellington boot is not saving me here at all. I want to see how much of a devastation it is in this particular room also, where a family is here literally fetching their water from their room. And this is what they've all been doing since morning. Hello, ma. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is your name?
Charity.
Oh, now, I can see you have nothing. Tree. Oh, now, well, the tree, I'm also going to speak the 2x4 that I hear. Now, Mpacho Fitiano, time Ben I started a way.
By 12 o'clock. And then soon started toy. Ye Gina Montanesa, Mandiachi. Ntiano Payna, yes, soon a free dime.
Yeah, a tasty debiana, time bias in Suto.
Yeah,
Mpacho, a moi, a damn moi higher na a permanent.
You rent it.
Mumpe baby for
Yeah, by dear, I'll see a baby for fraud.
For how many hours have you been fetching the water? Still, the water is still here.
I mean, 3 hours, 3 hours. More than 3 hours. More than 3 hours. We started on 12 o'clock up to date.
Wow. And you are still not even halfway through. When did the water get to? What level did it get to?
It got to a level like, I don't know how to describe this level. This window level.
Wow, so the water literally just poured into your room.
Where?
How did you sleep last night?
Oh, we stand until daybreak. We stand from 12 o'clock until by this time.
Oh, this is quite devastating. People are still counting their loss in the Adabraka enclave, where they woke up to this devastating flood water entering their rooms. It went as far as their bedrooms. The main compound is flooded, and there you go. People are still fetching it. As you can see in your shot, people are still fetching the water from their room. They are unable to salvage anything. The water, I understand, actually got to the window level, so they had no option, and they had to endure this all night. Kweku, can you hear me?
Fred, I can hear
Hello,
you.
Kweku.
Yes, Fred, I can hear you. Yes. And
yes, so that is the situation. As you can see in your shots, people are busily fetching water from their room. You see, and one interesting thing is that because this is a perennial issue and they are aware of it, they've been able to raise the entrance of and that has risen above knee level. But even that couldn't save the situation because the water went above the window level, went straight into the room. Their bed, everything submerged. They are just busily this morning scooping the water out of the room, and some of them, in fact, they are devastated.
So Fred,
yes,
if you can just ask them, so by the close of day today, what's their plan? Their plan is to just dry the place a bit and then spend the night there, or they'll move somewhere else.
Senior, welcome to City TV.
Hello.
Now, I have realized that you've been fetching this water for quite some time now. How long have you been doing this?
For the past 7 to 8 years now.
Been here for the past 7 to 8 years?
More than that. But for the occurrence of the water, for the past 8 years.
So why won't you relocate?
That's the problem.
What's the problem?
That's the money.
Money to rent another place? But looking at the distraction cost you right now, your bed is submerged, your fridge is gone, your TV, those are electronics that hardly would be restored to normal. If you look at all those costs, why wouldn't you put that money together to go get a better place to rent?
See, the income of the work sometimes also depends on how you relocate. Yeah.
So how much do you pay for a room like this?
That one, I think, is okay. That one can be discussed.
Now, let's talk about today. You are busily fetching the water. I mean, it's early days in the day yet, but what are your plans for the day? Are you going to do this, or are you going to dry the items in the room? Are you hoping to relocate to go find a place to?
We are just trying to move the water out. Then we save the energy for next day.
You save the energy for the next day. So if it rains tonight again, what will be your situation?
That's the only thing. We restart again.
So it's a cycle you have come to adapt to.
We are used to.
But what do you think is the cause of the flood in your room?
Not in our room, but the whole community here. That's the fields around all those parks, all the parks, these rubber polythenes, these are the causes. The choked gutters. Yeah.
That should be a problem caused by you and me. I mean, residents, citizens of this country. We drink water, we drop the sachet anywhere. Do you think there should be some pragmatic steps going forward on the part of policymakers like government, like yourself, attitudinal change here and there? What would you suggest to government? Should you be invited to be part of decision making?
The problem is they have to clear the main source of the drainage. If that place is okay, I think we'll be okay here.
But with the plastic, what solution will you provide for that?
We should be using they have the one that melts after some days or months. That one can melt.
Paper?
Yeah, the paper, and they have a certain name. Just forgotten about that name. I've forgotten. I can't recall the name, but they have a certain name for that rubber. That one, when it stays for long, that one it appears or it just rots. Yeah.
Well, Kokui and David, that is the gentleman also suggesting that we use eco-friendly
biodegradable materials.
So that we can avoid these plastics that keep choking our drains here and there, posing a challenge to these residents. And I mean, across the country, a number of places that are flooded, this has been the main issue. Here is a mother who is also busily at the entrance of her room. The daughter fetches the water, and then she collects it and pour it outside. I think let me just take a minute of your time and speak to this man. Hello, man. Good morning.
Morning, you. Pacha, ti say.
Now, nsu bebre wo de mu be nde wo be da hin fine.
Yeni baby aye beda o. Me niam nyina me tuma nyina asai. Yeni baby aye beda. Nyama ni bi matwe bi akogu ha. Ni aka ni nyina wo de no yetumi sisa. Bag akese ni nyina yetumi sisa. Anaju we ye bu puru na ni asa na ye yi me ne me ba ni nyina pie ye. Yeni am nyina asai.
That's quite sad and quite serious. Kweku and David.
Yes,
Fred.
Kweku and David.
Fred, thanks so much.
Thanks
so much.
Yeah.
That's our colleague Fred Duho, just bringing us some footage of areas of Adabraka where the flooding has entered people's homes, destroyed their property, and it's a perennial occurrence. And the sad thing for me is just how it lays bare the lack of options that people have. I mean, these are people who, if you've been dealing with this for 7 or 8 years, and because of cost of rent or finding another place of accommodation, they're stuck with it. They've just learned to adapt. It says a lot about the options people have in this country to better their living situation, that they can't even escape a perennial flood summons. Why?
Well, it's not the easiest thing to do, man.
No, it's not.
It's just the features of poverty.
Exactly.
And LDCs, least developed countries, third world countries, have these in abundance. But you see, the presence of it, for me, is not the biggest problem. It's what we do about it or what we don't do about it. You know, we've always known. I mean, I'm seeing pictures of flooding in the Dansoman Keep Fit Club area. Okay. And again, I don't know how I sound, but I don't know why anybody should be surprised. Why should you be surprised?
No.
I mean, as a kid, we used to play along the Sahara down there, and that was the end of Dansoman.
Yes, that's right.
Everywhere else beyond that space was water and grass.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Okay, now people defiantly go and reclaim and put cement works there, and then there's flooding and we are surprised. How can we be surprised? If you reclaim waterlogged area without proper spatial planning, this is what is going to happen.
Be done properly.
Unfortunately, the organization that is, I don't know which organization is supposed to ensure that we are disciplined with our spatial planning.
Well, I know there's a new, I think it's relatively new, the authority, the Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority.
Whether they have what it takes to stop people from doing what they are doing is another question. Because if we can't stop people from doing it, then we'll live in it forever. I mean, it's sad. Places where we knew that this water, instead of protecting and preserving it, because they serve as barriers to some of these occurrences, we have sold lands. Man. And now we are complaining. We can't complain. We can't complain.
No, and the worst of it is when I hear government officials also complaining. I'm like, I mean, why are you complaining?
Well, you know, government officials, they complain because they didn't create it
per se.
They didn't create it.
The thing is
that you didn't create it. It's fair enough. But not doing anything about it is the problem.
But those who mostly didn't create the problem are the ones who are suffering the most for it, for the bad behavior of the affluent who have decided to flout the rules.
I'm afraid to speak on behalf of any Ghanaian because the attitudes that people will display, don't build here, they will build. Don't put this thing across the channel, especially on waterways. They will build on water and build story buildings on waterways.
Yes.
And then the moment there's floods, they say, hey, the government should come to our aid. The government must come to people's aid, but people must also listen to instructions on where and how to put up some of these structures. Because look, all these places that we are talking about, they don't have the luxury of moving to another place. You were asking him the question, so what are they going to do tonight? They will do nothing.
It's where they're going to be. There's
the sad news is that it's going to rain again tonight.
And the guy said, we're used to it.
8 years.
We've been doing this for 8 years.
No, he cannot. No, he can't be used to it. That's
what I'm saying. Is that at what point?
Who can be used to
at what point does it get to the point where you're like, enough is enough? At what point?
This is despair. You have nothing else to do. You have nothing else to do. I mean, look, the water that they are walking in that you see on this is not clean water.
Of course not.
This is poisonous water.
Of course not.
Lead, mercury, all kinds of acid, different things
and
are in
the damp in their homes. So you'll scoop the water out all right, but you're left with mold. Deadly toxic mold that's growing in the walls of those homes that you've been inhaling for how many years?
It's not just an audible issue. The Ghana Health Service should be called to action. Because people are going to get all sorts of rubbish. Look at this rubbish. Entering into people's rooms.
You see the people looking like miniatures.
And lots of these people that have been affected are also the people who make commercial food by the roadsides for people to go and buy.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
So if we think it isn't affecting us,
if you think that you are sitting in your office somewhere and you are not affected, that kinky seller, this is where they live. The Banku seller, that the Yokagari seller, this is where they live. So you see the cycle.
Yes. And it's no surprise we are seeing things like typhoid. The numbers are rising.
Yes. Look at the way they are enjoying it. They are actually swimming.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Man.
It's really, really, really unfortunate.
Sunny.
Me don't know.
But again, what's the solution? What do you do?
What's the solution? We know what the solution is. The problem is that the people who should take action will not take action. And so that is where we are.
So this thing, we'll be reporting on it again in the next couple of days. Because, Charlie,
I mean, this thing
nothing's
has
going to
been
happen
with us forever. And for me, I say, it's not the fact that it's been with us. The fact that we seem helpless in dealing with the root causes. In Accra, the first port of call is the Buri Hills.
Yes.
And the forest cover on the Buri Hills being depleted with reckless abandon, with speed. Now, if you clear the cover there, we are in trouble.
The Buri Hills, the Pokwasi Hills, all those hills.
All the hills that border Accra, that we are busily selling off lands.
Surface,
And then forest buffers within the urban center. The Achimota forest, the small pockets of, all these things that we are busily shedding off. We are shedding off and inviting trouble that we cannot handle.
And then the wetlands also.
As for the wetlands, I mean, if you're mobile, even the wetlands, mobile.
All right, so we want to take a quick break. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, don't go anywhere.
So earlier in the show, we brought you some information on what happened at the Bimbilla SHS in March, where they were struggling with dining hall space and flooding and things of that nature. So we'll be going back there, speaking to our colleague Adabraka, who's standing by. He's on the line and he's going to tell us what the situation is like today, this morning, right now, at Bimbilla SHS. Good morning, Adabraka.
Good morning, Aya.
Hi. All right. Okay, so we're touching base with you to get an update on the situation at Bimbilla SHS. Now, the last time our cameras were there, or you brought us information from there, we saw the situation there, the lack of space for proper dining, and what happened when the school floods and things of that nature. What's the situation like today?
Thank you very much. This morning, things seem to be better as compared to yesterday. Yesterday, it was a sad situation in the afternoon when it was raining. The whole structure that they say is the kitchen and the dining hall was flooded, and students and the kitchen staff were in trouble. At the time the place was flooded, it was the soup that the kitchen women were preparing, and the water just ran and took off all their the fire that was used to cook them. So in fact, it was trouble. But this morning, thank God, the place is back to let me say the normal again.
Okay. So when you say normal, we understood the dining space really wasn't suitable for use at the time, in March when we saw what was going on there. Is it currently the same case, or has it been improved? Can the students now use that hall, or are they still dining in areas that are not suitable for that?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, the place where we reported in the last report is still the same place. Since the school was converted to a boarding house, it's still the same place, the open place that they are still using. They have not moved the new dining hall that is under construction. Nobody knows when it will be complete for them to use it. As of now, the place is abandoned. It is only used for conferences and things, but the students or the kitchen staff cannot have access to the place. But now it is in the open space where we reported last. Is still the same place they are used, as we see it on the screen now. In the same place they are this morning.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're seeing on the screen, then you can't even call this a dining hall. This is just an open space where they give students food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is the place they eat.
Okay, so what we're watching was the footage that was captured yesterday when it rained.
That was yesterday.
And the eating area, maybe we call it that, got flooded. And as you can see, the students are trying to take shelter while the rain falls, and it disrupted their eating time. So, Adabraka, thank you so much for that update, at least to give us some clarity on what's happening at Bimbilla SHS.
Well, this one looks more like a funding problem. I'm not sure, but what do you think, Sanes?
I actually don't get the connection. So, food, is that food on the table?
Yes. Yes.
The food arranged on the tables, and the students are hiding
because it's raining. So the rain has disrupted. Their bowls and their
these are the empty bowls.
Yeah,
these are empty bowls. No,
so that they were trying to make the food, get it served, etc. The whole place got flooded. So the students are taking shelter while they try to
food, and then that's where they serve the food.
All the cold pots and everything.
I don't understand this. This is a secondary school.
Yes.
Apparently.
The main SHS in Bimbilla.
The dining hall project has been stalled for some time, not being completed.
I think
no one
we need
knows
to
why.
speak with the headmaster or somebody because look at this.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
We have to speak with the
authorities there.
The authorities there because if this is what it is, Bimbilla must be the constituency for the defense minister. Is that correct?
Yes.
Dominic
It
Nituo.
is.
Yeah. I mean, this can't be. This cannot be. If the defense minister is listening, and this is Bimbilla SHS, Papa, you have to do something about it. Even if you have to commandeer the military to go and help, you have to do it. Because these are human lives. We cannot, as a country, watch this happen.
Yeah,
to our students.
And be okay with it.
And be okay with it.
I mean, it's just completely unacceptable.
We cannot. And this thing, Dominic, you have to do something about it. Because you are the Minister for Defense, which is a big position.
Yeah.
And you also hail from the area. This one you have to charge. You have to lead this one.
Yeah.
What?
I agree. I agree. And this thing is a 6 months job. You should finish it and take your hands off it. The students should be okay. Yeah,
I mean, what does it take to put up a dining hall for man?
And you know the ground there too is just bare, so it's like the water has just come and create mud and everything.
This is a sin, capital sin.
Yeah.
That we watch for a thing like this to happen in our country.
And
you know, we thank God for new media because we wouldn't have noticed this because these things have been around for like forever.
Time,
Yes.
And it's not just in the last 4 or 5 years. No, then the thing popped up. It's been around.
Yeah.
But there were no channels to unearth these problems.
Yeah.
Now here we are. Look at this. And guess what? They are going to eat this food.
Yeah. It's not as if they have a choice.
There's cholera outbreak, we react in shock. And then we are surprised. Look at this.
It's tragic.
Yeah.
No, it's a shame.
It's tragic.
It's a shame.
This is our future. The students, the leaders, this is what they have to deal with.
It is. Well, let's go back to Fred Duho, our colleague in the rains, in the floods. He's in the Graphic Road area. Fred.
Kweku.
Yes. So, whereabouts exactly are you on the Graphic Road?
I have left the Adabraka enclave and I'm heading towards Kaneshi, but there is some sad spectacle here that caught our lens. And here on the Graphic Road, you would see many of these automobile companies dotted along the stretch. And we have Hino, we have some service centers of Toyota, we have Kia on the opposite side, we have Honda on the other side. But I'm focusing now on the service center of one of these automobiles where the water literally looks like a dam and is flowing and heading towards the Adabraka area where we just came from.
Yeah.
So essentially, the entire premises of this automobile company is flooded. And I understand they have machines in their office, the computers, the laptops, the other sophisticated machines they normally use to attend to vehicles. They are all in those rooms over there. And I am moving towards the other companies. Some of the workers are actually stuck outside. They can't really gain access to their premises to work. And they are literally just standing by, observing and watching the water flow through their premises, entering their room. They have nothing to salvage because literally this issue is one that is beyond their control. So this is a natural disaster that has actually confronted these people this morning. They are all here. Workers are on the pavement. They are on the pedestrian walkway. You can see them. They are here in their numbers. They have nothing to do this morning. They are just here literally watching, standing by, having nothing really to do or salvage at the moment. This is not new. This particular place is well noted for flooding. And one interesting thing again is that the debris, as we keep mentioning, the plastic waste, they are all stacked in the burglar-proof over there. As you can see them, you have the Kia workshop right there.
My goodness.
All of them are submerged, literally.
Wow. And this looks as if, Fred, it looks as if with the water where it rose up to, it seems to have subsided a fair bit, because at least about 2-3 meters has gone down, but it's still quite high. Which means I'm dreading imagining what the water would have been like 2 hours ago.
Kweku, you are right with that, because when it started and the entire place actually got submerged, and the fact that the places we see now above the water were places that were literally submerged. I can see the water level in that shop where you see that car, white car in your shot.
In fact, you can see the dirt mark along the car.
Got to. Exactly. And that should tell you the level it got to before it receded some few minutes ago. And that car actually, there is a car they are working on, and the situation here is quite a sad one to behold.
Yeah, the water level almost hit the handle of the door there. You can see the door, the red door there.
Exactly the case, Kweku.
Wow.
Exactly the case. And the workers, in fact, they have nothing to do other than stand on the pavement where the walkway and then observe what is happening in their premises. A number of service centers, automobile service centers are dotted along this stretch. All of them are just sharing wall with each other. One of them that I can say has been hardly hit is the Kia Motors, which is the Rana Motors. Their service center literally submerged. Hino also was affected, and a number of other ones. And now the water actually, you see, one interesting thing is that there is no drainage here as we see it now. Either the drainage is actually too small to contain the volume of water, or literally there is none, because the whole thing doesn't look like the water is going through a particular channel. It is just spreading across, trying to find its way, literally. And there is this shop in your shot where the water is bubbling at the entrance. And that should tell you that is making its way into that workshop. And,
this one even
because
Fred, this one even looks as though it filled the warehouse and is now coming out.
And
it's out trying to.
It's forcing its way out.
Exactly that's what we are seeing.
It's forcing its way out, and you see the level of the water on the door. That particular black line beneath that bar, and that is the level of distraction we are talking about here. So the water in there is now forcing its way out because the one that is outside has receded a bit, and because it's crashing at the gate, that is why it's bubbling. You can see, yes. And there is this truck also stuck in this water. The Kia Motors premises. In fact, they will be counting huge sums of monies in terms of losses because the whole premises is flooded.
Fred, thank you so much. Thank you for the updates. Thank you for braving the waters and having water go into your Wellington boots and all of that for us to have the footage. But it's a mess.
Yeah.
The country is in a mess.
Well, it's been like this like forever.
Forever.
It's been like this like forever. Apologies to the whale. I give you everything.
Forever, including floods.
Sir John be big man.
It's interesting how certain words almost become no-go areas. You can't use the word they give.
The only man who is trending even in his grave.
No, man.
Sir John, Bojo. Now, see, all these automobile companies, I ask one question. Why are they still there?
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Why?
I don't know why
it happens to them all the time.
Staying there.
Since 1995. Yeah. It's been happening every year, flooding, automobile companies,
submerged,
and they still haven't moved. 20 years, they are still there. It means they probably know something we don't know.
I don't get
Maybe their land is affordable there now. Maybe their property rate is affordable there.
Well, there can't be a maybe because, you see, what you expose yourself to, because look, the number of vehicles that are, new vehicles that are on sale, that will be destroyed is one. That's your own cost.
Yeah.
Now, the number of vehicles that are there for repairs and servicing that
like
are
the one we
going
saw.
to get rid. I mean, I have been a victim before with Rana Motors. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, and it ended up in court. So I'm just saying that it's not necessary. But I don't know. I'm not into that industry.
Why they insist on
But
staying
the
there?
bigger issue is the odor. Well, you say it's no more a river, it's what? The
drain.
It's a channel.
It's not because it's
a channel. It's a drain.
The odor. If we will continue disturbing the odor, which is channeled into the Korle Lagoon, which is silted to the brim. If we can't do anything about the odor and the Korle, then we will welcome these disasters every day.
That is it.
I'm telling you.
That is it.
Because we started desilting, and I'm talking about proper desilting of the Korle Lagoon in 1994.
Wow.
Between 94 and 96, where the first proper project to desilt the Korle started. They still haven't finished. From 94 till now, we haven't finished.
The water sports,
almost 30
the
years.
river Odo has turned into first a gutter, and now it says a channel.
A drain.
That one too. The song called the other time it was Dredge Masters.
Yes.
The other time was another company. They've been dredging. But if you keep dredging and somebody keeps pouring sand into it, what have you done?
Nothing.
And nobody gets punished for putting sand into it. And you say we are developing, we are growing. What are we growing? We are a joke, complete joke. Concept people.
Thank you. Well, good morning to you once again. Where are you exactly at this moment?
Dave, I'm currently at Osu Blue Gate.
Okay. Yeah, I know that area well.
Yes. Behind me there is a big drain there, which would make one thing that obviously when it rains, it should be able to accommodate the level of water that would flow within this particular area. But unfortunately, houses nearby have also been inundated by water, and the vehicle you see behind me has actually developed a fault because the water has gone into the car, thereby grounding it to a halt. So its owner is trying to make effort to see how best he would be able to get this vehicle back on track. But aside that, we see that homes also nearby have actually been flooded, with people standing by helplessly, just waiting on the rains to recede so that they could see how best they can get back into their homes. We are trying to get closer to some of these residents.
Is it possible? Niaikwe, is it possible
yes,
to
Dave,
show...
I can hear you.
Yeah, you know there's a drain behind the Foriko Mall. Is it possible to show us what it looks like?
That's fine. So we are getting closer to the drain to see how deep it is and then how well it would be able to accommodate the rains to ensure that the area doesn't get flooded. This is it. It's a wide drain actually. So we've seen that the flood water is flowing through the drain. But according to residents nearby, this particular drain overflew its banks, leading to the flooding in homes nearby.
Yeah. No, so I think it's an important conversation for us to have. You can see all the gutters that channel themselves into this drain. But the problem is that at the bottom of this drain, there's a whole chunk of silt that is sitting there at the bottom of this drain. So it can take a lot more water than it's taking now because the silt is in the drain and we don't clean it. We don't get rid of it.
Now also at the fort about fort beyond bound. By at the same to a hand near you. No, me, I can't speak to you. You can't speak to you. So we want to find out from you. How was the situation here when it's
here it be risky.
How risky is it?
All the time we have a problem here from the cars. Water if you carry cars go and sometimes to see the ground too. That's the only problem we have here.
So when it rained this morning, I mean through the rains that occurred from dawn to this morning, how was the area like?
Oh, the area is number. All the area spoiled.
So what have you been doing to ensure that the situation is addressed?
Down there. Only sometimes if you fill the place and before you start the work again.
With what?
With sand.
Sand. Okay. So today, how are you going to manage the area?
Today, we can't do anything today.
So what has happened to the vehicle?
Oh, some of the vehicles have the water enter all.
Please, what's your name?
I'm Christian Khado.
So you heard there someone who also works in this area telling us about the impact of the rains at this particular community, also Blue Gate, sharing his experience with us. We're moving to some of the homes to find out what exactly the situation is. So on my left, you can see the drain, big enough, and one would think that this should be able to accommodate the level of water that comes down due to the rains. But unfortunately, homes nearby have been flooded. Vehicles have been grounded to a halt because they've had water going into them, and their owners are making efforts to ensure that they get these vehicles back on track for whatever purposes they would want to use them for. So this appears to be a mechanic shop, and people are scooping water from their shops and then also making the place conducive enough for business to take place. Eja machine. And I no pay a banison and Shuabora shop, you say.
How much in the Antimio? Bora opa. Say Nyama Bibri.
Nyama Pensa.
Oh, a dear fridges, Ninyama. The machines are coil machines. Can't see in a control boss in Yamana says.
Machines best, and I'm the edge more.
Spray machines and only.
Now, they be a say, and a
Ebenezer.
Okay. So that's Ebenezer sharing with us his experience of flooding here at Osu Blue Gate. He is an owner of a mechanic shop. He said that the equipment have all been destroyed by the rains. So they are trying to see how best they would be able to make the place safe enough for business to take place today. So we'll try and speak to other people elsewhere and then bring you more on this situation. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Ni Ayikwe. So that's our colleague, Ni Ayikwe Okay. All right, well, thank you very much, Samuel, for joining us this morning on the set. These conversations are tough, but we will keep hammering until something happens, something gives way eventually. All right, well, thank you.
It's just exhausting talking about this, honestly. But before you go, Summons, you know today is Jimmy's birthday.
Jimmy Quest?
Yes.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jimmy, man.
I mean, you've known him far longer than any, some of the people here have been alive.
Charlie, the pictures we are seeing about the floods, we can't live like this as a society.
Oh, Summons. But we are.
We can't do
something's going to give eventually. No, something's going to give.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just lost for words, but it's sad.
Sure.
I mean, look, as I said, this is tropical rains. The world over, no matter how developed a country you are,
tropical rains are
if
difficult.
you experience this kind of rains, there will be flooding. Trust me. This morning in England, in Durham, all those areas, they're flooding soon. But they know what to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They know what to do. Yeah. Here, flood happens, it's the responsibility of the poor people to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And then the institutions that are supposed to intervene, resources that are meant for poor people, they will share among themselves and just chop. And people will just go and sleep. Nothing will happen to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Sunday, they'll go to church and give offering.
Yeah. The Lord has blessed them.
Charlie, me.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Breakfast Daily has more for you. We'll be talking about typhoid fever shortly.